so what was I saying? That an illustrator needs to use many sorts of techniques and styles, and the good thing with vector illustration is that you can use the same illustration in many sizes and shapes. Well, artificial intelligence has actually started to work in a way that you can, well, use it for pixel images that it does calculate a pixel image into like a bigger version without any any quality loss. But we are not just yet there with AI, maybe in a couple of years. So if you want to make sure that your illustration is available anywhere and everywhere, then vector images are better to use. Okay, I'll try to get this. Okay. Okay, so let's go to Adobe Illustrator. And right now I have a little bit of a problem with the Illustrator on my computer, but I hope it will not be of any hindrance. There seems to be a driver that's missing that I need to download. There we go. Okay, I'll just continue with the known issues. I don't have time now for anything else. Okay, so I was talking about the fruits and vegetables. So let's see, maybe if, I tried out yesterday to do some strawberries and noticed that with strawberries I can show you a couple of techniques that might be useful to you, because it's boring just to go through the techniques without any project. There we go. So as I don't have any strawberries in my kitchen right now because it's winter. By the way, yeah, I did put the video on. Yeah. So as I don't have strawberries here, I will look for them here on the internet. Often, when I'm googling up images, sometimes I get better ones or more authentic ones using some other language than English. I often use Finnish or maybe German or Swedish to search for images. So instead of writing strawberry here, I write the Finnish mansikka. And let's see what I get. Mansikat. Okay, I was looking for images like this one, for instance, where there's a photo of a strawberry in growing somewhere. Rather than an image like this. or an illustration of a strawberry. So, okay, what's important to know about strawberries? Let's see. So if you have anything that you want to illustrate, it's usually good to understand its structure and what it's made of. So there is a stem where it grows from, and then there are these leaves. So everybody who's eaten strawberries knows that that there is a certain technique where how you remove those that stem and leaves. And then as for the shape, it's sort of heart-shaped and a little bit fat in this region. And there are these little seeds on the surface of it. And that's one reason, by the way, why I chose the strawberry, because it has a surface texture. So, okay, and there's even some small hairs sticking out of it, it seems. And then if I look at the way light bounces off the strawberry, then I see that it's partly shiny, which is also interesting. Okay, so what I did earlier was I made a sketch on paper of these particular strawberries. Well, what I could do, of course, I could just import this photo there and then draw after that, but instead I'm going to make a new sketch on directly on the computer. So I'll use my paper sketch as a model for that. Okay. Let's go see. So for the sketch, I will just use the Paintbrush tool, but I will first make a couple of adjustments there. So I'll double click on the Paintbrush tool and see how the fidelity is going on. For the sketch, I want to have quite accurate fidelity so that it doesn't make my lines any more pretty than they are. And I don't want to fill new brush strokes. Also, I don't want to keep them selected because it's really annoying. Okay. And then I want to create a brush here. So now what I usually use is what's called, window, there are the workspaces. What I use as a workspace is this Essentials Classic. Well, I've shown this in an earlier lecture, but yeah, that's just me. I like to have these tools over here quickly. But everyone who's using Adobe programs, of course, adjusts them for their own working styles. Anyway, this way I get, with the Essentials Classic, I get quickly to the brushes window. And as a reminder, I have also clicked here that it will show all the options. And there are a couple of calligraphic brushes already, but I want to create a new one. So here from the new brush. Now we will try out the bristle brushes and also the scatter brushes today, but let's start with the calligraphic brushes. So, okay, and now 9 points is a bit big, so for this purpose, so I think I'll try out 5 points. And then instead of fixed size, because I have my working tablet, I will have the pressure on and variation up to 5. And yeah, the angle that doesn't matter at all if the brush is all round. So I want it to be a little bit angled. So make it, oh, come on. Like this. So put a bit of angle there. And the roundness is now around 50%. Okay, let's try that. This would work. Another brush that I created is here in the brush palette. I could have also looked for the brush libraries. There are quite a lot of brushes and we'll go see them in a little while. But for now, I'll be happy with the brush I created myself. Yeah, I'll try some strokes and see if this works. Yeah, it does. So okay, I'll make just a quick sketch of the strawberries that I want to draw. By the way, drawing and talking usually don't mix very well together, at least not at the same time.
That's very true.
Yeah, it's because of how our brains are wired. Because the language center or the language areas are usually on the other side of the brain than the ones that we use for spatial things, which is what we use for drawing, spatial logic. So I'm not going for photorealism here, but an illustration. And then the second strawberry. Okay, so I think here's my sketch. And what I do next, I will make this sketch a little bit, well, not quite as black. So what I do is I'll use Control A to select it all. And then in the color palette, I go and change the color into a light blue, very light blue. Maybe a bit too light. Yep. Yeah, I think I can live with that. And next I will create a, well, maybe I'll name this layer sketch. So I will remember it later when I open this file, maybe at some point. Okay, then I'll create a second layer for the actual drawing or the outlines. Now, like I said, I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques that you can use in Illustrator for making illustrations. This is the first one is somehow like a classic one. But you have to remember that vector images are not pixel images, that you can't usually just go and fill in an area just by clicking inside it. In Illustrator these days, it is possible to do that, but then you have to use a specific technique. Anyway, I'll lock this sketch layer. Have a bit of water. And what I want to try out with the first, with the foremost strawberry is to use the classic technique of using the paintbrush tool. So let's see how that goes. And I think I'll make, well, maybe I'm happy with this brush. And I'll go and change the color. And maybe with the zoom, I'll go a little bit closer. Back to the brush. So where should I start with? Maybe just the stem. And now while I'm drawing this, I'm not thinking that much about the open and closed well, areas, because I'm not going to use these lines for filling things up, except maybe with the leaves. So I can just and then I'll use another brush, the Blob Brush tool for the other strawberry, and you will see the difference between them. Okay, there we go. Now all these lines that I have drawn, as showed with the selection tool, are all of them are individual lines. So I can't go inside these areas and then just click there and color them. Instead, well, here I can do it with the where the area is truly closed. So instead of that, what I will do is I will create another layer for the fills. And I'll call this fills 1. And there are a couple of ways of doing these fills. So I'll first of all, I put the fills layer under the outlines layer. So outlines 1. What I could use is the pencil tool, which can be found by clicking N. It's under the shaper tool here. A really useful tool, pencil, by the way. Okay, first of all, I'll lock the outlines layer as well. And now I'm just on the fills layer, I'm not nowhere else. Okay, so with the pencil tool, this is what you get. And so basically what I would have to do now is to make those closed shapes. But I'm not that particular now that they go directly over the, directly like the shape that I have drawn. I could go over it. So if I'm not that particular, then it's okay. And then I could just make it into a fill by clicking here first that I don't want any outline there. Then I click X for getting the fill and then click fill. This is, by the way, just the beginning of the filling. Okay, and now with the eyedropper tool, I can just alt click this other fill that I already made. Then it will take automatically the same as what I have here already selected. Okay, this is one way of doing this, which is a little bit, well, maybe weird way of doing it, but anyway, with the nice thing about the pencil tool is that you get these quite clean shapes with not too many vector points. So the more points you have, the more trouble you get into usually, because the file size becomes very big, and that's one reason why I like to use the pencil tool. And I see to it that the shapes are closed. Like when my cursor is showing this sort of little ball, then it means that the shape will be closed automatically. There we go. Then there's another way of making these fills. By the way, this is a little bit disturbing me now that it's going over it, since all the others are not going over. So if I'm particular about that the fills should go just like, well, very inside the outlines, then there are other techniques to use. Okay, I'll just correct this quickly. There we go. And yeah, by the way, I'm not going to have them in flat color, but I just need to have the areas first. And now okay. So I guess I'm reasonably happy with that now. Let's go outside and let's see what can be done with the stem. Well, like I said, I want to use the Blob Brush tool over here, and that's what I can find it either by clicking Shift B or just taking Blob Brush from there. Okay, so now you might remember what the Blob Brush does, so but I'll show it to you again. But so when I'm making this sort of thing here, then everything, and I'll look at with the white selection tool, then you can see that everything that is now connected, it's actually making an area. It's not a brush as such at all. And what I want to do with the stem is I want to make the outlines like this, and then click in the inside area and just delete it, and then delete it again and make it this one area. Okay, but you see it again when I'm doing it here. So okay, Blob Brush. So this time I don't need to be that particular with where it's going and how it's going, because remember this is what was I saying? The layer, yes, is underneath the outlines layer. So it's just enough that all of my Blob Brush is connected here, and that it doesn't go too much outside of the outline. And if this is too slow for you, I have a faster technique. after this. Okay, now I take the direct selection tool or the white arrow by, well, it's quick to just click the A. And then I click on the inside of the area and click delete once and delete twice. And now the stem is filled. However, the area here is not as clean as with the ones that I drew with a pen or pencil, sorry. Okay, and I'll do the same with the blob brush with the strawberry itself. And this time I think I'll, oop, that was not my intention. Let's select a red. Okay, it doesn't much matter which red it is because I'm going to fill it up later with another color. I think, by the way, that maybe it's quicker to do with this with a pencil than the blob brush. And there we go. And now it's this fill is over the leaves, so no problem here. I'll just click on the area and right click and send it to back. There we go. And it's not yet really strawberry looking color, but I'll go to that later. Okay, that's a nice red. Okay, then the other strawberry. I'm thinking that maybe I should make the other strawberry whole and then just move the other one over it. So what I'll do next is I'll put the first strawberry on another, in another place maybe. I'll need to open up the outlines layer then. And just this. There we go. At some point I will have to make a couple of artboards, like extra artboards to put stuff there. But for now, I'm good with this. All right. Then I'll lock the fills layer and make the outlines. Okay, or actually I'll make another outline layer for the other strawberry because I'm going to use the other technique for that. I'll call it outlines too. Because the fills are going to be in the same layer this time. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so this time I'm going to use the blob brush also for the outlines. I have to warn you, sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so by the way, the blob brush options, now it's smoothing it quite a lot, so I think I'll put the fidelity to a little bit more accurate And also I have 5 points. Might be a little bit big for the blob brush. Let's see, 4 is maybe better. Try it out here first. Yeah, it's approximately the same now. So everything now is going to be one blob, so I have to be more careful that my outlines really do go together. Okay. Okay, there's a gap. And now with the blob brush, I can also use the eraser tool, which I get also by clicking Shift and E. So if there are any lines that I don't like, then I can just erase them. Okay, I'll go a little bit closer and see if there are things I want to erase or if there are some gaps. Okay, that could use a little bit of erasing. There, I just wanted to make the line a little bit thinner. Okay, no gaps that I can see. And let's check how this looks like. Yes, it's all good, I guess. Okay, so the way I want to do the filling of these shapes. Oh, by the way, it's a good idea to save. So I'll call this Mansikat 2, like strawberries 2. Okay, so the next thing what I want to use is called the live paint bucket, which I can get by clicking K. It's under the shape builder tool, live paint bucket. And with the live paint bucket, I can make these shapes, well, live so that I can fill them up. So first I need to have some strawberry red here for this area. So it says here, click to make live paint group. Okay, I'll do that. There we go. It's as easy as that. Then, however, what I do need to do first is to, I need to have things selected. So for instance here, if I want to make this into a live paint group, then I need to tell to the software that, yes, this is a group. So I'll use the direct selection tool for that. So A for that and K for, again, for the live paint group. And for some reason, it doesn't remember the color. So I'll just make this green and make it into a swatch so I can reuse it quickly. So here, yes, live paint group. And A and K. This one. And it seems to be working quite well this time. Like I said, sometimes there are surprises. So I have to be quite particular in which area I click into. Sorry if this is boring.
I think I have that surprising error. Even though I selected the like leaf part that I wanna paint, it kind of changes all color of the brush lines.
Of the outlines, yes, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm using the direct selection arrow, because I want to be sure that it's the inner path that it's taking it, not all the, like here now you can see I have the same problem. You see it's not selecting just the inner path, but everything. See?
Yeah, but in mine,
Yeah.
I'm selecting only the inner part, and I can see clearly inner part is selected.
Then you use the live paint bucket and go. So you have to click quite carefully inside the area then. But now here, it doesn't want me to click the inner part at all. So this is, if I now use the live paint bucket, this is what it will do. Oh, it did it. Okay. So I thought it would go wrong, but it didn't. Even if I, anyway.
So it's a bit depend on luck.
Yeah. So like I said, this is not quite as reliable as I would like it to be. And that's why the reason why I actually mostly use other ways to color things in Illustrator, like the technique I showed with the other strawberry. Also, as this is now, all a live paint group, then I can't take these the outlines of these leaves separately and color them. Well, yes, actually I can, but I need to do a couple of operations that I don't want to do now. But yeah, this is how it mostly works. And now let's go to making these less flat. So maybe instead of outlines 2, I'll call this strawberry 2, since everything is there in one place. So sometimes it's also good to check if your image would work better without outlines. Now you can also see the difference between the pencil lines and the like blob brush lines. Anyway, I'll lock the first strawberry, unlock this one, and move it. And also I could move the other one behind the other one and make the sketch invisible. I don't need it any longer. All right. So the next thing is to make the fills a little bit nicer looking, or maybe less flat this time. In some cases, the flat fill is really helpful. By the way, I like this shade of red, so I'll just put it as one of the swatches. And because I'm going to change the fills now, I want to save a couple of these colors that I used earlier. Okay, there we go. Okay, so for this, I will go back to the original image and see how the light goes there. Okay, it's yellowish here in the bottom, and then there's some reflected light over here, and I think also there's some reflection light here, and the and the darkest places are right under the leaves and over here. Okay, let's see what I can do with that knowledge. Okay, there are a couple of places where to get gradients in Illustrator and where to do them. So there's the gradient tool and also the gradient window. And these Photoshop-like basic gradients, linear gradients, and radial gradients, you all know, I'm guessing. And it's okay-ish, yes. You can then change the gradient colors over here. And so on. But this is not what I'm looking for right now. Not this kind of gradient. I want to have a more, well, a live gradient. So, and this used to be done in Illustrator in a slightly different way, but now this new gradient tool is really handy. So here's something called the Freeform gradient. And when I click on that, first it looks like nothing, as you can see, but then, so basically you can select either points or lines, and these are like color points, or then or else lines with different colors. Okay, so there was a dark area right over here. I'll put a dark color there, or dark color point. Go really. And I can, of course, change this later. Then there was another dark area over here, and a lighter one over here. So let's make this lighter. And I could make that point also bigger. Yeah. Let's make another one of that color over here. And of course I can move this point. there was already one point here, and I think that was yellowish. So let's put yellowish over there, maybe a bit brighter. Maybe, well, no. And then there were these bright reflective points over here. Okay, but less yellowish, I guess. No. And this might be just a bit too dark now. And I think there was one bright reflective area over here too. So I guess you understand how it works. And of course I can do the same with the other strawberry, but I'm guessing it might be a little bit boring for you to watch me do that. So I'll just change the paths of the leaves. Okay, where is mine? Okay, the outlines are still active, so okay, there we go. So I'll change this to a simple radial gradient, but maybe not in that color. And have some color too. Maybe a little bit yellowish. Okay, yeah, I like that. And I'm going to use the eyedropper tool again to make things a little bit big, quicker. Or maybe just like this. Yeah. All right. So by the way, I was planning that we have the lunch break around 11:30, just in case you're wondering. Okay, so a strawberry has this sort of, well, it has the seeds outside, as you remember, we looked at the seeds earlier. So how to make the seeds without being like really boring, that you draw one by one, like boop, 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 boop. That's so what I want to do is automate the process a little bit. And how to do that? Well, we'll use the symbols for that. There's this symbol place, which has quite horrible looking stuff, but we're going to make our own symbol. So I'll go back to the image and see how these seeds look like in the picture and how they look like in other pictures, maybe. So, okay, there's the brighter seed, and then there's some, because it's set inside the or half inside the strawberry, there's this darker area around it. And most of the seeds are yellowish, but not all of them. So back to Illustrator. And as I'm not aiming for any sort of photorealism here, I will make my own version of those seeds. Okay, what I first need, let's see if I'm in a layer for that. Maybe I'll make another layer for the seeds. Okay, and this time I think I'll also make another artboard. So here's the artboard tool. So I'll just create like this second place for me to try out things. And back again. And what I need is the regular paintbrush tool and some other fill, maybe not that kind of fill, but a normal one. Do I have some colors available? Yeah, it was yellowish. Okay, I'll start with that, and then maybe this one. Yeah. I'll draw a couple of these. So that I have a couple of shapes. Yeah, why not? So one way of doing this, oh wait, first I'll just copy the strawberry, or only the surface here. I'll make a duplicate of this over here so I can make try out different stuff there. Okay, one way of doing this would be maybe to make it into a pattern fill. So, by the way, the seeds would need some darker area in the inside. So let's make that too. With a slightly bigger brush. Maybe this one. Okay, I'll make this a little bit darker. Yeah, not bad. but the brush could be big, maybe 7. With some pressure. Okay, I wonder if I'm in the wrong layer now. Yes, I am. Of course I am. All right. Then, well, what I could do, of course, would be here to go to the seeds that I created, and then move all of these behind the ones that I just made. Arrange, send to back. Okay, there you go. And send to back. And maybe I'll just. Okay, so here I have like a selection of these seeds that look a little bit different, every one of them. What I want to do is I want to make these into a fill first before I try out the symbols and see if that works. So I can make anything that is here is in vector shape, or almost anything, into swatch and into fill, for instance. So that's actually what I'm trying to show here. So I'll just drag them here to the swatch palette, let them go, and there they are. Now I can use these as a pattern wherever I want. There's also another way of making patterns in Illustrator, which you can find under Object and Pattern, but we'll not be going there right now. You can try that out on your own then. Okay, anyway, now this is here as a pattern that I just dragged there. So I can put it here on this as a second fill. So how do I do that? I need to go to the appearance. If you do not see this, then, but you have this information, then just click these 3 dots and you can open the appearance panel. Because in the appearance panel, you can add new fills and new strokes and also effects if you want to. And if you want to have transparency and such things, that's also possible here. So what I now do is I add a new fill. And now for some reason it made it black. I don't know why, but I'm going to have my new pattern swatch there. Ta-da! Okay, so that doesn't look bad, but I'm not fully satisfied with the way it does look. So I want to have something, I want to try the symbol technique and see if that's more effective. Okay, so I'll just click this fill into so that I can see it. I could just delete it, but now you know how to put several fills inside one object and how to put anything that you have drawn as a pattern swatch. In the afternoon, we'll see how to make brushes out of anything you have here. But okay, I want to make some of these seeds into symbols. So what I need to do is just click on both of these paths that are here, then go to the symbol window, and then click plus. So to make a new symbol, it has to be well, active, selected. Okay, and now it's asking what I want to do. I'll call it seed, and movie clip is quite okay. Don't worry about that. And I want it to be a dynamic symbol, yes. And there it is. And I can take another one as well as I'm at it. There we go. So what use is a symbol? Well, it's no use yet, but I'll show you how to use it. So the symbols can be used together with something called the symbol sprayer, and it's surprisingly it looks like a spraying can. And under it you can find a lot of options or a lot of other tools that are handy, and I'll show you how. So now that I have the symbol sprayer, by the way, by double clicking, I can make it a little bit smaller in diameter. So let's put it 30. And I think I'm okay with the other options for now. So now I'm just starting to spray some of these seeds over here. And let's take the other one too. Okay, it just changed it to. Okay, so I think I have a good number of symbols here now. It's always a little bit, let's say, dangerous to spray too much because the program might crash unexpectedly, and on that sign I will also save. Okay, so what to do with these symbols, how to make them look better, because obviously I don't want them to look like this. It looks stupid. So that's why I will be using these other tools over here, like the sizer and the spinner and the scruncher and the shifter. So usually you can use either the shift or the alt button to make them scrunch differently. So I can put them in other order, or if I go to the sizer, I can make some of them bigger and some of them smaller. Yeah, you have to be careful not to make them too small or too big. So, and well, with a spinner, I can make them spin. and so on. Okay, by the way, I want to shift some of these. Okay, so you can see that some of these are in the wrong places, or let's say that they are outside of the strawberry. Oh, by the way, with the stainer, that's also very nice. I can make them go a little bit different in color. As you remember, the colors were different originally. So some of them were darker and some of them were well, brighter. So with the stainer tool, I can change the colors partly. Okay, some of these don't seem to do what I want them to do, but anyway. So what to do with the symbols that go outside the area where I want them to be. So this is something that is important to know in many other places as well. So first I'll put the strawberry itself. I'll arrange it to the front, and it's on a different layer. So, okay, first I have to move it to the same layer as where my seeds are. Good. There we go. And now it's in front of the seeds. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use it as a clipping mask for the seeds. So for one object to be a mask for another, you have to, well, it has to be in the front. So a clipping mask, and now you can see that the strawberry has been used as a mask, and the strawberries are not, the seeds are not going over the strawberry anymore. So now what I can do is move this here. And also move the seeds layer. Oh no, wait, that's not a good idea. Okay, I'll have to, yeah, move these ones, the stem and the leaves, over the seeds, of course. Or I can just
take a eraser and just erase those first?
Well, this is well, these are symbols, so they are instances. So they are not how would I say it? They are not objects as such yet. They are just instances of this symbol that I made. So I can't directly erase them, but what I can do is I can use the symbol tools and move them elsewhere. Or I can use the screener, which means that I can make things partly invisible. But there seemed to be some problem with these, with the seeds that were here on the top of the pack anyway. So as you can see, it's screening all else, but not these ones. So I'm guessing there's some bigger problem with them. So probably I should do this again and make it here over the strawberry directly. But now you know the basics here of these techniques, and I'll let's check my notes if there was something else for. Okay, the other things I'm going to show you in the afternoon, but let's go. I'll stop sharing now, and I'll write you the task for this. And stop video. No, that wasn't it. Stop recording.